What happens when the instinct to hunt or survive faces a law that never fails? Gravity. One false step, 1 second of overconfidence, and the abyss decides the end. Here there are no invincible predators or prey. When the ground disappears, everyone falls the same. Prepare to witness moments when nature reminds us who has the last word. At the summit of a snow-covered mountain range, a life-or-death chase unfolds. A snow leopard, acting like a silver gust, relentlessly stalks a mountain goat, strategically pushing it toward a rocky ledge that has no escape. The feline measures every inch of distance, prepares its muscles, and lunges at the attack. But in that microsecond, the laws of physics pass their judgment. The ground disappears beneath its feet, and both bodies plunge into the void. The hunt turns into a distressing free-fall. As they descend, the impacts against stone ledges are so violent that life escapes before reaching the bottom. In the end, the abyss makes no distinction between hunter and prey. Both end up intertwined in an outcome where there is no triumph, only the silence of the mountain. A new leopard enters the scene, brimming with confidence and believing it has total control of the situation. From the shadows of the rocks, it executes what seems to be the perfect ambush. However, its calculation fails by millimeters. The goat, in a display of astonishing agility, propels itself upward, clinging to the vertical wall as if defying gravity. The feline, unable to stop its momentum and blinded by desperation to capture it, loses its footing and falls directly into the void. The crash of its body hitting the base of the slope confirms the inevitable. The mountain has claimed the life of the one who dared to underestimate its danger. And before continuing, remember to subscribe to the channel and leave a like on this video to keep experiencing these moments of nature that few ever witness. At this moment, a brutal sequence unfolds. The predator launches from a high ledge seeking the element of surprise, but makes the mistake of underestimating the reflexes of its rival. The goat, whose entire life has passed in these gorges, dodges the strike with electric elegance and vanishes among the cliffs in the blink of an eye. The leopard, unable to correct its trajectory in the air, lands heavily among the debris. What began as a strategic attack ended up being its own death sentence. If we observe in slow motion, we can notice the magnitude of the impact. A sharp blow that we hope brought a quick end to this unfortunate feline. On this occasion, the leopard achieves what few manage, its fangs close on the hind leg of a young prey. But the goat does not surrender to fate. It fights with frantic energy, twisting and jumping into the void in an act of faith. Both fall off the cliff, but the outcome is unequal. She manages to land in the cold river waters, cushioning the blow and saving her life, while the feline remains on the shore, watching with a mix of confusion and disbelief. Here we see the perfect combination of two factors: the courage of a prey that prefers to leap into the void rather than be devoured, and the immense fortune of not having hit the rocks during the fall. A mother and her little kid find themselves in a desperate situation, feeling the breath of danger on their necks. A colossal bear approaches, and its massive footsteps resonate like drums of war in the forest's silence. The goats, guided by pure instinct, retreat until they are at the very edge of an unfathomable abyss. The bear stops, its eyes fixed on them, and for a moment doubt seems to halt it. However, the hunting impulse is stronger. When trying to adjust its position, the giant makes a tactical error and loses balance. In a shocking second, the imposing mass of the bear plunges into the void, bouncing off the ledges in an echo of destruction that shakes the mountain. This is a brutal warning. Not even the mightiest force can ignore the laws of the abyss. A snow leopard launches its attack with precision that for a moment seems to grant it victory. Its claws sink into the prey, and it appears to have the situation under control. However, in this terrain, balance is like glass that breaks easily. In an unexpected twist, the goat manages to break free, regaining its freedom at the last breath. The predator desperately tries to find a foothold, but only finds air. It falls into the void quickly and without return. In this survival game, the hunter ended up being the victim of its own momentum. An inexperienced specimen prematurely claims victory by biting its prey, but ignores the superhuman resistance of these animals and the treacherous nature of the slope. What follows is a chaotic fall. Both roll, bounce between stones, and slide down the hillside in a macabre dance. In the end, it is the goat who emerges victorious thanks to its mastery of a terrain it knows better than anyone. This is the clearest lesson from nature. Invading an enemy's territory is an invitation to tragedy if you don't know every corner of the battlefield. From the celestial heights, a majestic golden eagle fixes its gaze on a solitary target, a mountain goat that seems vulnerable, but this prey knows no fear. Instead of hiding, it starts to jump from rock to rock with challenging and elegant agility. The eagle from the air evaluates the situation and quickly understands that it is not an easy target, but a warrior of the heights. With the wisdom that experience brings, the bird gives up and flies away, leaving the goat standing tall, reigning over its stony domain. Stellar battle. Now let us move to a moving and tense scene. A mother and her kid flee uphill at full speed while a gigantic bear follows at their heels. The stone crunches under the pressure of the chase. However, at the critical point of the climb, the bear's massive weight works against it. A bad footing causes its advance to stop abruptly, and after a brief struggle to hold on, it falls like a lifeless lump toward the frozen river below. The message is powerful. In the mountain, muscle does not always triumph. Often victory goes to those who possess lightness and knowledge of the path. Enter a tenacious fox, determined to capture a young kid. A high-intensity chase begins where the small animal tests its limits, climbing and running with astonishing determination. But the harder the fox tries, the further its target gets away. The kid ascends with a grace that seems supernatural, leaving the pursuer exhausted and watching from below. In the end, the fox admits defeat. It understands that, in this vertical scenario, it is only a spectator. Another bear, blinded by confidence, attempts a hunting incursion. It manages to corner its prey, but forgets that the real threat is the mountain itself. As expected, the immense mass of flesh and fur cannot hold on to the slippery surface for long. It falls like a defeated giant, with no chance to correct its trajectory. It was not the goat's cunning that defeated it, but its own ambition crashing against an unforgiving terrain. Unfortunately, not all stories have an escape ending. In this case, a goat makes the radical decision to jump into the void rather than allow the leopard to reach it. But fate is cruel, and the leap is not enough to save it. The abyss consumes it. The leopard, with a calm that chills the blood, descends with steady steps to claim its prize. Here we see that courage, although admirable, does not always guarantee survival against a predator so skilled in rock warfare. And now that you have seen these moments, which encounter did you like the most, or which impacted you the most? Leave it in the comments. Let's see how many of us choose the same one. And speaking of choosing, the best decision is to watch the video on your screen to continue enjoying the most incredible encounters in nature. But before that, hey, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like so you don't miss these unique moments captured on camera.